of being live. This particular ministry is a ministry of direct experience. The purpose of this channel is to help people find a direct encounter with God, the God, finding the truth beyond facts, beyond religion, beyond opinions and argument. And today, as usual, I received my daily bread, which is I asked God whatever it is that He wanted to tell me, and I did my best to hear the message. I want a little more. And this is what He told me today. He said lots of things. But He also said, there's some things I tell you that you're not supposed to tell others. What you're actually supposed to do is tell people what they need to hear that will help them call out to me. Tell them what it is that they need to hear that's most likely going to help them ask me. And that is what God told me today. So the title of this particular program, let's unprogram if we can, is I want you guys to tell me your experiments with religion. What I mean is, can you tell me if you are an atheist or if you are an ex-Christian, Christian or Muslim or anything else, tell me your experiments. Tell me how you put your religion to the test and what you found. This is another way to testify. Testify, guys. Did you put your atheism to the test? Have you tested your agnosticism? Did you test whether you really don't know? Did you test Christianity? Have you tested the words of Jesus Christ? Have you tested whether or not the Quran is true other than facts? When you pray 5 times to Allah, does He answer you? And how does He answer you? I want to know your experiments with religion. Tell me. Tell me your experiment. I will not judge you by your actions, guys. Tell me. You could say, man, I tried being a Christian. It didn't work because of this. Or say, I tried being a Jew. It didn't work because of that. I want to hear your experiments in religion. Testify. You can testify your direct experience with God. Where are you? I reside in the wonderful state of Ohio, guys. In the United States of America. And I have a ministry here which is designed to help people find the truth, the only thing that is true, which is direct experience, guys. And the only thing that you can directly experience is God. Now, that sounds like an argument. If you want the argument, I can go ahead and lay that down. But what matters most to me is I want to know your testimony. Where am I from? I'm technically from Indiana, guys. But I've been residing in Ohio for long enough. So, have you experimented with religion, Suri Athakur 9496? Tell me your experiments with religion. Tell me your experiments with what you believe. How have you put that into practice? And what are the results of what you put into practice? I'm curious. Whatever it is, man. So I say, if you believe in science, tell me the science that you've experimented with and tell me the results that you got directly from your firsthand experience. If you believe in Jesus Christ, well, tell me how you followed Jesus Christ and some of the results that you got when you cried out to God. I'm curious. What religion do you believe? All right, good question. Literally lit. All right. This is my religion, guys. My religion is God came to me directly and told me what was up. That's my religion. I got the spoiler of spoilers. And how did I get that? Because I was seeking God directly. That's how. And then I opened the Bible after. Then I opened up all these other books after. And I'm like, oh, that's who Jesus Christ is. Oh. And it wasn't because of facts, guys. I was shown mercy because God gave me the experience of experiences and I lived through it somehow. Guys, it's almost like dying. I survived it. And for the longest time, I didn't care whether anybody else didn't have to tell the whole world about it. But God decided to go ahead and continue talking to me every single day when I ask him to, out of his own mercy. And he says that this particular ministry is about me practicing my daily bread, which is, I'm going to listen to your testimony. What do you got? Tell me your experiments. Has anybody experimented with religion? Have you experimented with Satanism? Have you experimented with Hinduism? Have you experimented with Buddhism? I want to hear it, and then tell me the results, man. I'm not gonna crucify you for that, guys. I'm not. I want to know, what have you heard? Have you heard from God lately? Do you have blind faith in a book or a church? Tell me your experiment with the Lord Jesus Christ, as if you got your hands dirty. Tell me your experiment with Islam. Tell me your experiences. Testify what you yourself have done, hath done, and then testify what God has done. If you believe in that. Horror experience. So you got like a religion about horror? Tell me, man. Tell me, did you experience? Tell me what you experienced. I want to know, man. Anybody experiment with Mormonism? Anybody experiment with the Jehovah's Witness? You can tell me Catholicism. You tell me whatever you got. I want to know your experience. Testify it, man. And then tell me, by what measure do you believe what you believe? I've already revealed my measure. My measure is direct experience. Well, how could you possibly believe in God if you're measuring everything by direct experience? There is a way, and it's called directly experiencing God. But I don't care if you believe in all that. I want to know your testimony. Tell me why you believe what you believe and what kind of religious experiences that you've had, or non-religious experiences. Tell me that you got the facts if you want to. I want to hear if you've experimented, though. If you're an atheist, tell me. Have you experimented with Christianity? Have you cried out to God and been like, well, he didn't answer me, so I'm out of here? I want to know. I'm curious. I'm taking this as a learning moment, man. I'm taking this on the chin. I want to know how you guys have experimented with what you believe or don't believe. Has anybody cried out to Allah? Did the devil appear instead? Tell me, man. Tell me. Tell me if you've experimented with religion. Or if you just read a book or you absorb facts. Islam is the only logical religion. That's why I follow it. There is some interesting logic to Islam. I'm not against the logic of Islam, guys. But what I'm wondering is, have you heard from Allah lately? Has Allah spoken to you? Or is it just the logic? Is it just because it makes a lot of sense that all the books are corrupted? I understand that, man. But have you heard from God? Have you tried some of the things that the Quran preaches? What were your results, man? What was your results from using the Quran? Did you learn something from doing the deeds? Did you learn something from getting your hands dirty? That's what I want to know. How'd that experiment go? Were you born into it? Or did you convert into it? That's also a thing. Did you go, you know what? This religion makes more sense. I'm going to go with it because I have been convinced through logic. Or did you try it and you go, wow, I saw God yesterday. I'm curious, man, because I'm really ignorant on the idea of some of these religions in terms of the results. What kind of results do you get? I could tell you I got results, man. I got results, dude. You can go well, is it an argument? Is it facts? Is it like a ticket out of hell or whatever? Man, you guys can come up with all that. I'm telling you what, I got results because I hear from God. I want to know your results. I was born a Muslim. I left it when I was 16, but I came back to being a Muslim not long after. Well, Mr. Literally Fit, that is actually not too bad of a testimony, dude. Because the fact that you left it first, that gave you the opportunity to see how it contrasts with the other civilizations. Like when you left Islam, did you like try Judaism, or did you try the secular stuff? Did you try like some of the other things, or did you just kind of like half-ass Islam and then come back to it full blown? Like which one did you do? I'm curious, man, because I'm learning from you, man. You're gonna tell me what God wants me to hear, man. Like seriously, God speaks through everybody, man. Especially if you believe your religion is correct, because like how could that not be the case? All right. So if anybody else has an experience of their experiment, or want to tell me what results they got from their religion, if you got to tell me some results, man. Like, so when I left Islam, this is what happened. You can tell me that. And I got back in there, got back into the praying 5 times towards Mecca, and that changed everything. Well, how did it change everything? Like, what exactly did you gain from doing this? Besides promises of like the afterlife. I'm not going to count promises of the afterlife or whatever, because I'm looking for like, when you experimented using the scientific method of whatever, your first person experience, what'd you come up with? I got irreligious and only believed in one God at one point, and I was Christian at one point. Cool. That's cool. You did both. This guy here, Rick Kemp 4254. I was an atheist until Jesus found me in my disbelief. And here we go, guys. Now we're getting somewhere. We got 2 real testimonies. 2 real testimonies. I like this. All right, so what version of Christianity contrasted the Islam? Was it like a Baptist? Was it Catholic? Like, what did you get a chance to like experience from that version? And then what version of Islam are you trying out? Which version of Islam? Because there's a few different sects of Islam, and there's an insane amount of Christian sects. And I asked the same thing for Rick Campanella 4254. What version, man? Welcome, Ace Theo, man, 6864. I am doing an experiment with my daily bread, and I'm just seeing who flies in here from the nether, guys. I want to know what kind of experiments people have had in religion and what kind of results they've gotten, man. I want to see their results. I know Ace Theo's got some results. I know this guy gets results. You definitely should check him out, man. He'll show you some results, man. But clearly, I want to know what the fruits are of whatever religion that you follow. Specifically, not just like, I believe this and one day I die. I want to know, have you seen Jesus Christ? Have you experienced God? Have you tried the methods of Jesus Christ and discovered the truth in what he says? Like, what is it you got? Or did you follow Muhammad? Did Muhammad lead you to the promised land? What's that look like, man? What's it like to visit Mecca? I was searching for guidance, and I was very confused when I was a non-Muslim, but a guy convinced me Islam is the truth, and it made sense to me, and I converted to Islam. Cool! This guy convinced you. What was the main argument that this guy had? What did he have? What was his, like, what was the argument of arguments for Islam? I want to hear it, man. What was it that got you? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, man. I want to hear it, man. I left Islam because I thought Islam doesn't let you enjoy life. I was overcome by desire. What kind of evil desire? I believe in the unseen. All right. Do you believe in the unseen because the Quran told you so? Or is there a little more than that? Was it just an argument? Like, what was the argument, man? Like, I don't know much about Islam, man. If you're the only person that's going to talk to me today, that's great. I know a little bit about Islam. I studied it in college, man, but that don't mean crap. I didn't spend a week practicing Islam. Right. God told me to ask Muslims some questions. That's what God told me today. Actually, he told me all week long. It's like, you need to get a Muslim and you need to ask him some specific questions. And I'm like, all right. It's like, am I converting to Islam? It's like, that's none of your concern, man. God's like, one of the things I have to ask you about is what does the Islamic teach about women and their position? Like, I don't want to hear what the Fox News, CNN. I mean, what's your experience with how, like, are you married? How does that really work? I don't care what they say on CNN. How does that work? Do you have passionate love? Do you make passionate love to your woman? Like, or is it kind of like sacred? Is it kind of like, you got to like stay in line or whatever? You know what I mean? Is it like, does Muhammad lay that out in the Quran, like how you're supposed to make love? I'm not joking, dude. I'm curious. I don't speak the language. I tried reading the Quran a couple times, man. And man, I realize how that's supposed to go down. You're supposed to know somebody who actually understands the original language if possible. And then it's easier to be guided. It's kind of like if you don't know Christianity or somebody told you so, and then you get into the weeds of the Bible, you're likely to make up whatever you think you already know if you haven't encountered God directly. All right. Let's put it that way. There's somebody in here who understands what I'm talking about, right? But if you encounter God directly in any capacity, you're not going to cast much doubt on a whole lot except for facts. You're going to cast doubt on facts. That's about it. All right. Here we go. Let's go. You should study all religions because what it is your religion is false or your beliefs are false. So if you don't believe in Islam, search for guidance. I have no doubt on any religion, guys, other than the facts. If you've encountered God in Islam, right, the God of gods, then you know the truth. But if the logic of Islam leads you to God, the God of gods, and you discover all of that, who am I to say you're on the wrong path, man? What I'm saying is, God told me, this is what God told me, man. He told me that different people need different kinds of daily bread to get them to cry out to him. Whatever it takes for you to cry out to him and to get God to answer. It's not God will answer, but whatever it takes for you to cry out and listen to God. All right, if Islam is what it takes, man, and you believe that Christianity can't get the job done, I want to know why. Hello again. If Jesus died for our sins, why did he say, why did leave me? Jesus died for our sins. Why did he say, why did leave me? Could you type that again? Can you type that again? I think I'm just that's a miss on me. I didn't quite understand the question. We'll try again. I've studied these religions, guys. I've studied, when I was in college, I studied all these religions. I mean, I'm going to come clean. But I didn't understand any of them until I encountered God. I knew the facts. I knew the doctrine. I understood, the 5 pillars. I got the reincarnation thing down. I thought I understood Buddhism, but I clearly didn't until God showed me what those things were. And I was like, oh, nobody's going to believe me. What should I do? And God said, you ain't doing anything. I'm going to do it. That's what he said. But for fun, he wants me to go ahead and lead people to crying out to God and asking God directly. That's what he wants me to do. And there's a trickle effect to this. It's crazy, man. It's super crazy. Aside from logic, why did you leave me? Asking God. You mean, why have you forsaken me? Do we have Ace Theo here? Ace Theo, you here? Here, you might be able to help me out here. My answer is not going to satisfy this guy because of my direct experience. What God told me to say is probably not what he's looking for. But I'll go ahead. God is telling me for you to ask God. God is telling me what you need to do is take everything that you know about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, science, every single factoid, every single interpretation of the Bible, guys. Everything that a pastor's ever told you to make sense of that. There are thousands of YouTube videos, insights, right? There are thousands of YouTube videos of Christians justifying every single line of the Bible through many, many translations. And there will be an answer somewhere out there for you. But if you're here, I've got the best answer. The best answer is to crucify everything, including the Bible. Crucify it all, every single day, and cry out to God and ask God. And if God does not answer your question, all right, try again. Try again. But Ace Theo, this guy who's just in here for a blip, man, he's got all that figured out, dude. Ace Theo, he's got every single thing. Now I will say, I've got it figured out too. But my answer is ask God. Have a direct experience with God and crucify everything else that you know. If he died for our sins, he must accept death. Ask God, man. Ask God. I know the answer to all this stuff, man, but my answer is not going to satisfy you. It's going to make you crazy. You're going to be like, dude, this guy is high or something. My answer to these questions may not lead you to God. Only God's answer is going to help you with all this. And if I don't know what your position is, I need to know like where your starting point is. Are you like coming at this from like a Christian background, an atheist background? Because depending on where you're starting from, I can lead you to that answer better. Because if I give you there's lots of ways to think about this kind of thing. Okay. But depending on where your starting point is, depends on what path you need to walk. Now, there's somebody else that agrees with me that most people here do not agree with. When I say most people, it looks like we're talking about one. We're talking about one. Okay, all right. There's a guy named the Buddha. And one day, two people came to the Buddha, one at a time. The first person asked Buddha, does God exist? And the Buddha said, no. And why did the Buddha tell the person that God don't exist? Because the person that came to him believed that God exists, but never experienced God. He had doubt in his heart. So the Buddha told him no, so that guy would go on a journey to seek out whether or not the Buddha was wrong. Second guy comes to Buddha and says, is there a God? This person was an atheist. And the Buddha said, yes. And why did the Buddha say yes? Because it led that guy on a path to disprove God. I'm going to prove the Buddha wrong. This is the kind of thing that God's hinting at me right now. He's saying, you know what? The Buddha's, he's not straight in hell burning, man. Necessarily. That the Buddha might know something about this. And you've got to do what it takes to lead people to me. To get them to cry out to me. That's you don't have to, because God's going to do it. But if you're interested in this little game, this is the thing that you need to do. All right. And I don't really care what Scott's going to do here. I don't care what Rant Jam's going to do here. What I'm more interested in is what God's going to do. All right. You must accept that he died for our sins. Dude, I don't have any doubt in Jesus Christ. I have no doubt in the gospel of Jesus Christ, to the point where I follow Jesus Christ. I do, man. I follow Jesus Christ. But I do not care whatsoever which doctrine someone follows. Because if they don't know God, it doesn't matter. See? The main audience for this right now is everybody that in heaven or after the afterworld or whatever it is, everybody who's watching this, which is everybody who's ever lived and everybody who's died and everybody who's resurrected in the all that stuff. Every single person who has ever existed is watching this stream. This illusion of views, this illusion of likes, it's all an illusion, man. And I'm talking to God right now. And I'm asking God, all right, man. I'm calling out these people to give me their experiments in religion. And so many of these people, they're just not interested. They're not interested in telling me if they've experimented with religion and what their results were. I want to know their results. That's what a testimony is, man. Tell me your results. Are you under the law or grace? Am I under the law or grace? I am under the direct influence of hearing from God. All right. That's what I'm under, man. You can call it grace. You can call it law. You can call it salvation. You can call it whatever you want. Right? If you're asking me that question, you know what that means? It means you haven't heard from God. You need to ask God. You don't need to ask me. You get out of here with that. Ask God that stuff, man. If you believe in the Apostle Paul, man, you're in Graceland, man. You're in Graceland if you believe in that guy. When were you physically the strongest? At what age? Cool, that's a good question. Right now. You guys know that I'm almost 40, and I think I'm physically stronger than I've ever been in my entire life. Isn't that unbelievable? That's crazy. That's a good question, man. I like that question. For his righteousness came through the law, then Christ died needlessly. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that, man? By what measure do you know that? Where are your facts coming from? Tell me where your facts are coming from, man. Tell me where your facts are coming from. I'm not doubting you. I want to know by what measure do you know that? Hi, it's me, Heather. Hi. Says hi, thank you. Do you have an experiment of religion? Do you have an experiment? Do you have a testimony of God? Do you just want to testify that like everything is wonderful and thank God for all the great things? Do you want to testify like your experience with God or angels or aliens or whatever? I mean, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not going to doubt anything you say. I want to know the results of your experiences, your experiments with whatever religion you got. Tell me your results. I'm here for some results. Don't know how I got here, but yo, hey, Julian, Australia, 5993. Tell me your results, man. Have you ever experimented with religion? Which one? Tell me your results, man. Have you joined a cult for a week? Tell me what happened, man. Did you start working out? Well, on and off, I lifted weights in my life, but this last 3 years, I stayed consistent. God told me I need to be consistent with all that. And I'm like, all right, I don't really care about like, being buff or whatever, but I think it's some kind of training. It's like some kind of mental training. It's not just physical, but it's interesting. Christians are actually Nicaeans. Okay, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? How do you know that? You talking about the Nicene Creed? Oh, you're funny, man. Sure, if you want to. There's 30,000 denominations of Christianity, so are they all Nicaeans? What do you think? What about the Gnostics? Are they Nicaeans? What about a mystic Christian? What about one that never opened the Bible or found God, found all that, without believing in anything but God? Are they Nicene too? Not every Christian worships the Bible as if they're God. You'd probably be strong in your 20s if you're consistent back then. You're right, literally lit, man. I would be buff. That's why I'm going to teach my kids to like get it on with that. I built a gym in my garage for that reason. I want to show them what they're supposed to do, but I learned the hard way. So when they get to like this age, they're going to be like strong, man. I got 2 boys and 1 girl. And whoever my girl marries, that dude better not be a wuss, man. Because I won't take him out. Because I stay in character, I'll ask God first. Like, God, should my little girl marry a wuss? God will give me an answer. And I'll run with it. Yeah. Okay, I'm entertaining myself. Anybody got an experience? Anybody got a testimony? Anybody got an experience or an experiment with a religion? Tell me, like, even if you go, like, man, I discovered that Islam is what's up, or I discovered that, like, tell me why. If it's an argument, lay it down, man. This argument got me. What about actually practicing the religion? What happened then? What happened when you actually practice? I want to know, like, what is this doing for you? What kind of results have you been getting? Show me your results. I don't care about your facts. I want to know how you feel. All right? I know this is a radical position. This is radical. You never hear anybody tell you this stuff. But maybe you do, man. When you say God talked to you, do you hear a voice? Sometimes he does. Yes, there is a voice of God. I can't deny that. But every once in a while, God talks to you in other ways. I mean, God talks to you in a lot of ways. But you're talking about like the time he appeared to me, like he appeared to Moses or whatever, or Job or something like that. Yeah, there's a voice that goes along with it. But it's really hard to distinguish between God's voice and your voice until you encounter God in that way. Yeah. So you do need to put God to the test when he talks to you daily. Mm-hmm. And there's a way to do that. This channel actually has ways to do that. If you're interested in experimenting with religion in the same way that I experimented with hearing from God directly, you can do that, man. And whatever results you get, I can't control God. So let's say, everyone. So God asked me for you to call out to him. He said, seek and you will find. I'm like, okay. But I can't tell you something that's going to lead you away from him, though. I can't tell you, like, hey, you chose your life, and then somebody come in here and be like, that's not what my Bible says. And I'd be like, all right, whatever version you got, whatever translation you got. How's that going to help? It won't, man. You kidding me? Gee whiz. What else we got? Is that it? Nobody else wants to experiment with religion today? I have, okay, this is my hypothesis. This is my hypothesis. So I'm talking to myself right now. So later on when I'm listening to myself talk, I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay, so past life self here. So future self, listen up. My hypothesis is that almost nobody experiments with their religion. They don't. The very few people actually experiment. And most people just kind of run the habit, right? But they don't actually run daily experiments. I would say that's most people. How do I get them to do that? You got any ideas, future self? Oh, I got somebody else to talk to. Cool. Sure. What is my experience? I am a humanist. I believe the divine is found in its entirety within each person. That's not too bad. Why do you believe that? I find that a lot of things that never make sense to me do. All right. Okay, I'm going to read this slowly. I find that a lot of things that never made sense to me do when I think it is like this. Cool. Things start making sense. There's order to all the chaos. That's a good start. That's a really good start. So you've got something that's starting to bring order to some of that chaos. All right. Do you have any practices that go with that kind of like get results? Is humanist a religion? And if it is, like, what kinds of things have you done and what kind of results have you gotten? Have you tested whether or not God's real? Like, just like, have you tested? Put it to the test? Like, I'm a humanist, it's cool. But have you put to the test, like, is God real? Does it even matter? That kind of stuff. I'm kind of interested. Have you tried other religions too? Like, before you became a humanist, what were you? And why? What brought you to humanism? I'm curious because you're teaching me. You guys are my sponsors, man. You're sponsoring me right now. I'm training. I'm building a physical church. Somehow, there's going to be a physical church, and that church is going to be all about testimony and praise and worship. So I am merely practicing. I'm just practicing. Even if I'm just talking to myself, I'm doing the self-righteous thing and everything. I get it. But even if I'm just talking to myself, it's still practice, man. It's practice. This is like, I have to create delusion. Anything that's not God is a delusion. But yes, thank you. Anybody else got an experience? All right, so I believe 100% that whatever happens after this, that I need to really work on not eating as much fiber, man. And I think the vegan person yesterday was right. So note to self, the vegan guy might have been right. God's been kind of hinting that at me all the time, and I've tried to figure that out, but it's hard to get buff and be vegan. It's actually, you can be buff and vegetarian easy because you can just eat a bunch of milk or whatever, but being buff and being vegan is challenging because you got to eat a lot of soybeans, you know what I mean? So if you got any ideas, for that, anybody got any ideas for that? Anybody experimented with veganism? Is that your religion? Anybody experimented with that? Can anybody share their testimony? Do you want to hear mine? All you got to do is, like, if you're watching, you just got to type. Like, I want to hear your testimony, Mr. Kratos. I want to hear what God told you. How do you know the truth? I did this. Tell me. Ask me. Challenge it. Challenge it, man. Be like, okay, this guy doesn't really hear from God. I want to challenge him. Go ahead. Challenge me. Knock me off my high horse. Please. Please do so. 35 minutes deep. We got a few people who've experimented with different things like humanism. Yesterday, somebody told me about their veganism testimony. I thought that was really good. But I want today's bread. What about today? Don't think, if you're some of these people who are like worried about like, want to make a big influence, want to make a big impact. How much influence does this guy have? Dude, man, you guys have no idea. God's telling me, man, that I'm going to be a part of the greatest ministry since Jesus Christ walked the earth. So if you guys are a part of this, even if you're one person, you got a lot more influence than you think, man. I need to hear you are training me to do the impossible. Because God said I need sponsors. Who wants to sponsor me with their experiments in religion? Does somebody tell me their results? What kind of results do you get when you cry out to God? What kind of results do you get when you practice going to church every Sunday? What kind of results do you get when you argue about facts? Looks like the answer is 0. God's funny, man. The answer is 0. 0 results when you experiment with religion. So what you need to do instead, experimenting with religion, no atheist likes this topic. I haven't seen a single atheist that enjoys this topic. This topic has been all the atheists who came in for a blip and left. They didn't even bother leaving a comment. Isn't that funny? Uncontested. This is like a quick win, man. It's not quick. It's taking me like 30, 40 minutes because I want to make sure that this is an absolute slam dunk. Nobody's contesting it. Not a single person. Why would I experiment with religion? I'd have to play devil's advocate on myself. So for future self listening to this, mad confirmation, guys. Mad confirmation that the idea of experimenting with one's own religion scares people. It scares people, man. Experimenting with religion is the most scary thing for most people. So scary that it's completely uncontested. You don't have too many people who do it. It requires a lot. I understand why a lot of people don't, though, because they find security in what they believe. So for them to experiment, even with their own religion, is probably the most scary thing they could possibly do. To put into doubt, they might call it doubt. It's not doubt, man. It's testing your faith. Test your faith and see the results. That's what God wants us to do, but he doesn't want me to tell people it like this. There must be another way. Is there another way to get people to like test the religion without them running away? That's the question. The question of the day. All right. How much longer should I go for this? I'm going to get my glasses back on here. I'm going to see if I missed anything, because I usually don't review the live chat after the fact. So, Ace Theo, can you put down the grace? Good for him, man. Oh, sure, humanist. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So anybody got an experiment in religion? I'll lay down my experiment in religion. I'm going to put my testimony down because that's the only person who's willing to say it. So the humanist guy kind of did, and the Islamic guy kind of halfway did. He just told us like why he believed what he believed. But nobody put down a testimony of experimentation. So let me go ahead and just review this and see how I remember it. Okay, because my memory's not reliable, but we're going to go with it. Years ago, guys, after I was done with college, done with working, I decided to put a lot of the teachings of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, not Islam. I didn't put Islam to the test. That's why the Muslim people are showing. I didn't test Islam. But I put their practices to the test. Is it true? Is it not true? Not by faith, but by walking it. And seeing if Krishna had some good points. Seeing if Jesus Christ, his teachings, indeed leads you to where he says it leads you. Okay, anybody do that? Looks like nobody else. Okay. What I discovered, guys, when I did all that, sincerely, for fun, not because I was afraid of hell. Obviously, I was not afraid of hell at all. Honestly. And not because nobody else knew I was doing it. So I wasn't impressing anybody else. I wasn't live streaming. I wasn't telling anybody about it until I started getting results. Okay. Once I started getting results, I couldn't help but tell people. Because the results were insane, Starboy of the Night. When you experiment with Jesus Christ, and you experiment with the idea that God talks to you, and you actually, for fun and love, reach out to God, the kind of results you get are ridiculously awesome. They're the greatest results ever. Anybody know that? You get results, man. I started hearing from God. I mean, I started by watching what triggered it. You know what's interesting? Starboy of the Night. There's two things that got me interested. One was I watched a documentary on the Buddha, but it was like a soap opera thing. And then the other one was there was a guy, I think he's really famous now, but at the time he wasn't, because we're talking like a long time ago when nobody knew who he was. But it was like a conversation about the psychology of religion. And it was like a Jordan Peterson, right? But I was listening to the Buddhas. I wasn't like reading the Buddha. I was watching a documentary. There was a lot of sleazy stuff going on. I was like, man. And at the beginning of the documentary, it was like, why is there suffering in the world? And everybody's like crying, oh. And then there's like sleazy stuff going on. I was like, okay. And then I was learning about Hinduism, and I was learning about the real core truth of Christianity, in the sense of what does it mean to actually follow the teachings? What is it trying to tell me? What would it mean if I walk that path? And what I discovered from all of that is what's true about each of these religions, but the highest truth is God himself and Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is still like the God of gods because of the fact that we can hear from God every day if we want to. All right? We don't have to follow the law to hear from God. That's basically what the one guy was asking about the law. I guess I sidestepped him because he was worried about the law or grace. You can hear from God without following the law. All right, that's the most important thing. This isn't about salvation. This isn't about all that, man. Like Ace Theo already, he already laid that down. This is about, can you hear from God? You don't have to follow the law to hear. Thank God you don't have to follow the law to hear from God. All you really need to do is listen and reach out to God with no strings attached, in the sense that you're just doing it for fun and out of love. That's what I did. And I don't know how many other people actually do it that way. Most people do it because they're afraid, and whatever the closest religion they got, they cry out to, and thank God if it's Christianity or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, what I was doing was purely out of love. Okay. And I ran some experiments. Jesus said a few peculiar things, like he said, there's a beam in your eye for everyone who has a speck in theirs. And I was like, okay, is that really true? And I was asking God this. I was like, well, can I run this experiment? So I called everybody that I knew. Everybody that I knew, I invited them over. And I tried to figure out where the beam in my eye was for each of these people. Now, a lot of Christians don't interpret it that way. No. Lord, no, would they ever interpret it that way? No, they won't. They will not interpret. But I was like, you know what? I'm not about interpreting it. I'm going to put this into practice and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to oh, there's a beam in my eye for every one of these people. And then God showed me with each one of these people, or at least the core ones, who they were and what kind of lessons I needed to learn from each one of these people and what God was trying to tell me. And boy, did that trigger a lot, man. Because he also told me to write down everything that I cared about. And he wasn't talking about the things that you tell your neighbors. He's talking about, what do you think about every day? What consumes your mind every day? What is the thing that really, when you think about it, it really moves the needle? Your blood pressure, you sweat, you get excited. The real stuff that moves the needle. Write those things down. And I did. I was like, okay, I'm gonna write these things down. I was just laughing. I was like, I wasn't trying to prove anything to anybody else. I played these things off each other. And then I discovered, as I was doing that I had an experience with God that even to this day is the most undeniable version that I've had up to this point. In terms of like, there's no kind of delusion that can supersede it or fact. Today, in 2026, I hear from God daily out of his grace. But I ask God specifically not to do that again unless I need it by his own grace. And he delivered. And I hear from God in a way that doesn't like cause me trauma because he answered my prayer, man. But I'm telling you, if you want to hear from God that way, if you want God to come upon you that way, he will do so if you ask him. And you do it without trying to prove anything to anybody else. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody else. There's nobody even watching this. Right now, there may be in the future. And that's my testimony. That's how I experimented with religion. That's how I did it. After that, did I read books? Yeah, I read books. Did I learn new things? Yeah. But none of those new things, those were lesser things. They were all lesser to having a direct encounter with God. If you're experimenting with your own religion, if you're experimenting with your own faith, if you're experimenting with everything that you think you already know, that's a pretty good start. You've got to put it all to the test. Not the test. Don't test it against other facts. Do not test it against your direct experience. That's how you do it. Oh, man. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So if you're interested in hearing whatever God had to tell me each day, you go ahead and do it. If you got other things to do, that's cool. This is not the normal time. Usually I do this a little earlier, but this is a Saturday. God was trying to tell me something about the Sabbath, and I didn't quite get it. So maybe this is part of the message. But yeah, like I said, it's what else was the title of this thing? Testify, your results. It's insane that people resist this. This is the most resisted thing. Now, maybe that's all I needed to know from God. Like, tell me your results. So I don't have to live stream on my channel. I can go to Ace Theo. I can go to anybody else. I can go to anybody else in person and ask them the results. Have you gotten results? And they'll either run away. It's harder to do it physically. It's easy for people to like flick through and go watch cats dance. And that's cool because that's like how God's leading them. But asking people their results looks like it's a tough one, especially atheists, because atheists don't get any results. This has been the Gospel of Being Live. I'm sure you're very entertained if you're watching this on replay, because it's like, hey, this guy likes to talk to himself. It's true. But I also talk to God. You guys have a wonderful day.